I will make a reference to spirits in the material world about a discussion I had yesterday. But I will leave that for now. This is about latency. Now, you see, here, let's mount this here in my knees. 1 millisecond of latency is about 1 foot long. Okay, so imagine that's where ears are. So when you're singing, this would be a long instructable. If it's any more than that, and professional singers say that they can hear it, and I'm sure they can, it's very hard to hear what your hears. Most people that hear the voice go, "Ooh, is that me?" And in fact, my mother said the other day, "Yeah, it's just through well, people just want to know, so they go." Anyways, that's very good. Now, so back to what I was saying. When I lost my hearing, partially, with headbanging, although I didn't actually do it myself. In any case, you sound different through the microphone, and so when you're singing, you're looking for a voice, if you will. Practicing is perfect that way. Your ears are going to be interpretations of the way your voice sounds. Now, back to latency. I'd say be diligent about it, but have a good think about, say, St. Stephen, Steve, or an Aunt Valerie, for instance. Well, where am I going with that? Valorant. So, it's some experimentation that I've done recently, which, I kind of did know the answer, but if you use Wi-Fi and you're playing a first-person shooter game, the closest you can get to the source, okay, like a weakest link type thing, the better your latency is. So people go into rounds and they use cables, because that is the fastest way that we know of to limit latency. Now, we're getting too deep thinking here. Deep thought. Oh, very deep up here it is. Essentially, even with light, and I don't like why we don't have processors made of light, okay? But that's into audio recording, some other deep thinking to do. So, 29 milliseconds, 20 milliseconds-ish, is the best you're going to get with Wi-Fi, no matter how fast it is, okay? And trust me, I have experimented in this for a long time. I live in Potato Land, and I had like the only radio, okay? There's like 2,000 some odd within, I wouldn't say walking distance, not even within a mile, okay, where I did the, just a walkabout, if you will. So that's a lot of cross-town traffic, or bullets going by if you think about first-person shooter. So, inspirationally, I was going to throw a drive from top of the roof. But I have to get another drive to do that. Anyways, maybe I'll even do it on a trampoline. Or the drive, not the trampoline. Well, that's a different story. So back to latency. So 1 millisecond, and I'm not going to look up the statistics, because that's just the way I remember it. Say it's about this big. So it's about 1 foot per millisecond. About. So I was doing a concert once, and we got, when you get over 40 or 60 milliseconds delay, 40, 50, 60 feet away from the source, you can start to hear boom, boom, or ping, ping, or bang, bang. Anyways, then you have to time the speakers. And so, when people are doing concerts, they don't want to be too far away from the source, because it changes the ears. Also, it makes really cool sound effects, because it goes, it's like double down, things like this. So, what am I saying here? If you want to improve your playing, and then you cannot bitch about latency or, oh, dang, because to play this game nowadays, you have to be secure about it. That's to make sure you don't cheat about your location, and not in the game I'm talking about either really. Anyways, so you can shave off 60 milliseconds like that. That's 60 feet. So imagine if you're shooting and you're 60 feet off. That's like, cannot hit the broadside of a barn. Now, also, the reticule, what I call it, your little crosshair, say, now, I'm used to shooting down because bolts just go up. Okay, so you're making a pointer and make one that's up and down. If the game don't do that by that many pixels, then it probably make a difference. Think about making games. I've got a human mind I'm supposed to work on. Not only that, I'm supposed to think about my thinking. But the potato land says I must think my thinking through. So that's another to do. Anyway, yes, it's a long post. Well, we could call it a blast post, but not really. If I had sent this as an SMS, but for instance, because I did it with the ex-wife one day, geez, and the error message still comes out because there's a limitation in SMS messages, which means texting. Okay, it'll send like 400 messages if you want to send a video this long. It's a little bit latent, isn't it? Okay. Not to mention, I once turned 7 bits into 8, but I won't go into this. A little bit deep thinking. And a long time ago. Oh, and now, it's like a 15-minute thing, say, doing a teddy talk. Like teddy bear teddy talk. It is now still only 15% of power left. So, there's just a thinking process here. It's probably, I could be using it as an advertisement for a cable installer. But, yeah, it makes a big difference. I mean, you can be right next to the radio that you're trying to do, say, first shoot, Call of Duty, Valorant, whatever, in the protocol. Because if I'm a radio, if you ever use radio, just imagine packets that say, "Hello, I am here," which is exactly what the IP protocol does. And then you must ack and knack and say, "Oh, I hear you. Who are you?" But no, that's true. It does that. So then you have to get into the Cisco kid stuff. So, deep about. Feels like I split this instructable up, but I'm holding and catching fire up here. So, in protocol, purposeful reasons, like a printer that went like this, at the end of the line, for it to do another one, I have to come back. I'll go to the characters for you. Then I'll just go with the trace on type thing. Or Tron, if you will. End of line. The end of line. Oh, I've got to hit the stop button for that. Hey, start, stop. Another thing that protocols do, and it happens 44,100 times a second for the sound, low quality, okay? And you've got all these packets going on, so when you're playing a virtual game, that seems like, whoa, it's in the cloud. Really? Even 40 years ago, people go, "Oh, man, your head's in the cloud. You're high. There ain't no way that's happening." But yet today it does. So, keep inspiration for that. I probably forgot. Inspiration. Inspiring. End of line. So now, at the end of the line, generally you'd hit character turn or enter.